Yo, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. We are eventually on the Rift for the G7 League of Legends Division 2 online qualifier between Legacy of the Kappa and Flash Q. I am again Awasheen Blood Penguin Malloy, and joining me on the cast is, of course, Connor Wolfie Nolan. Little bit of technical difficulties, but we got the teams back. We're on the Rift. It should be good to go from here.
And we're finally in. So just looking at the starts, I see Elise opting to take the 3 health potions rather than the refillable potion. You don't typically need that health, the extra potion on Elise, so we might see an invade. Same for the Zac though. We don't typically see a need for the 3 potions on the Zac, so but you don't typically invade on Zac, so maybe he's just looking for the safe first clear, maybe looking not to get invaded by the Elise.
Yeah, we'll see exactly what way they want to work it as well. So I'm curious to see how this Mundo kind of scales as well, because we talked about the scaling on the side of Flash Q just a little bit there before we went to a little bit more of an extended break. But it is very, very, very... You know, this game is on a timer right now for the side, in my opinion, for the side of Legacy of the Kappa. If Mundo gets to that point where it's just impossible to kill him, if Vayne can, Monkey D0 can just constantly get reposition, getting those silver bullet products off. The TAM is tanky. Yes, Makeout Zac is going to be tanky as well, but they're not going to be that tanky to be able to deal with that kind of damage, as well as the kind of front line that Flash Q will have.
Yeah, I'm curious to see about the Mundo. Mundo is typically seen as a safer pick. That's always going to scale into the late game rather. But yesterday in the CRB game, we saw CRB1 take that Mundo into the top lane against Bat Rastard's Trundle, and he was absolutely destroyed. He had 2,000 HP in the late game, and he was one of the squishiest members of that team because he lost that lane so hard. So it's really important Mundo survives that early until he can pick up his first 2 items, and then he becomes a threat.
Yeah, it really does. We'll see now what Kevson can really do there. I feel like I have to nearly sneeze when saying his name. It's one of those awkward ones there. See, actually, an interesting first pickup there by ability pickup there by Blue Bullberry, taking up the grey health, and we don't naturally see that. It means he has no real kind of harass or anything like that in this first early exchanges.
So the reason they took the grey health is purely because they wanted to regen up, because Legacy of the Kappa's bot lane opted to go for the golems, so they hit level 2 faster. The problem with that being that is grey health isn't actually a trading ability, so even when he hits level 2, even though he hasn't yet, even when he does hit level 2, he won't have 2 damage abilities. The second thing is Legacy of the Kappa took the golems just to hit level 2 faster and try win that trade. However, they actually gave Flash Q's bot lane an easier time of pushing the minions in, and they ended up hitting level 2 faster, so it didn't really work out there for Legacy of the Kappa.
Yeah, really didn't. They see now a little bit of pressure there being put on from eJam. The support's just trading blows there, and Slippy trying to try and get a much harass there onto Alpha Horizon. It's going to be difficult enough to see exactly what Slippy want to do, because we talked about scaling as well, but Orianna's definitely one of those champions that can scale pretty damn nicely. It does take about 2 or 3 items before she actually picks up some serious damage.
So in the past, when Syndra was at her peak, this was a lane we saw quite a lot, Orianna versus Syndra, and typically Syndra wins that lane. She's able to abuse the predictable pathing of Orianna and her lack of mobility to land those stuns and really win that lane. But a couple of Syndra nerfs, especially to her Q, combined with Slippy's option to take Barrier as a summoner spell, might mean that Slippy's actually able to last in this lane and scale into that late game where Orianna is such a threat and Syndra kind of falls off.
Yeah, nothing really happened there. Support's just missing out quite a bit. We actually do see that Makeout had snuck himself in. Well, he thinks he snuck himself into that bot lane. There was a ward that caught him out. So he's not quite as sneaky as he thinks he is, and that's just going to be kind of wasted time now for him in this bot lane. Actually, eJam. Ooh, Monkey Zoro gets caught up. There's no black shield as of yet. Forces the flash away. That's flash and heal down there for Monkey. That was a pretty decent gank there. They only had to burn the exhaust on the side of the Legacy of the Kappa.
And that was purely just impatience from Monkey. That ward actually died in the bush, but they had already seen the Zac in that bot lane. So there was no reason they had to go and CS those minions, as Legacy of the Kappa's bot lane was actually pushing it. Those minions were going to get to that tower eventually. And that mistake will actually cost Monkey his flash and his heal, and is going to make this bot lane really rough. Especially as a Vayne player, you don't have the strongest early game as it is.
Yeah, we see now another gank there from Makeout. Flashes in, gets first blood. Actually, Flash was already used there by Alpha Horizon, so there was no real escape once that and the Scatter Week were down. So that is first blood going over to the jungler of Legacy of the Kappa, and this is kind of what we kind of expected to see in CRB Blues game yesterday, but definitely making the Zac work out far better for his team.
So this is quite strange. Typically you'll see Elise being that a powerhouse early game jungler that gets all those ganks. We actually haven't seen Suns Out Puns Out do any successful gank here, and we've seen Makeout do 2, and it's only 5 minutes playing Zac. So Makeout having a fantastic game, so much pressure put on the map by him.
Yeah, and pressure is the name of the game, especially when you talk about the scaling as well. If Makeout can make these lanes just so much easier on his laners, they can outscale, just for the moment anyway, the side of Flash Q, both in the bot lane and the top lane. Haven't seen much action in the top lane. They're both pretty even, very hard to kill a Mundo and a Fiora. But we'll have to wait and see what way they want to work for it, as Optic Blade might be getting ganked now. Did get hit by the cleaver, as we see now. Suns Out Puns Out trying to just juke him out. Did get one little juke. Oh, good riposte, able to block the cocoon, and that will be nothing more from the top lane. Nicely done there from Optic Blade.
I feel like there might have even been an opportunity missed there. Typically Optic Blade was lunging in on Fiora and then using the parry to block the infected cleaver. Perhaps if Suns Out Puns Out just waited a little bit longer, something could have happened. Either way, there was some good pressure from Mundo, because they really need one lane to pull ahead. Looking across all of Flash Q's lanes right now, they've got a 15 CS differential in the bot lane. This Vayne is having a really hard time farming. If we look at the mid lane, Slippy's opted to go for the tier build, and just Zac engages on Mundo.
Yeah, we just see now. It's going to be hard though. Sadism has been popped, so that'll keep Keventsk very, very safe now. He has losing his vision though, so he needs to be a little bit more careful. Suns Out Puns Out, ooh, misses the cocoon. Slippy looked like he nearly warded, but didn't quite, and that's going to be a little bit more of an more pressure being put in favor of the side of Legacy of the Kappa. These ganks are just not working out for Suns Out Puns Out right now. So we talk about the top lane though. Grand challenge has been dropped. There's no sadism, forcing the flash out of Keventsk's. And that is going to be another summoner blown. This Zac pickup for Makeout is just doing so much work.
I'm so surprised by the amount of power he's having on Zac. He's just laying down so much pressure on every lane. That's bot lane, he got a gank, got summoners. Mid lane got summoners and a kill, and now top lane he's got a flash. He's blown flashes in all 3 lanes, and that's compared to an Elise, such an early game powerhouse who's so far done absolutely nothing in terms of summoner, only added a little bit of pressure to the top lane. So Makeout having an amazing game. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the tier itemization on the Orianna here. We typically don't see too much tier unless Orianna is against something like Zed, where she can't afford to build a mana regen item, so she builds the tier and then starts into her Zhonya's. Building tier is a strange build for Orianna. It basically means that her power trough in the early game is even more exaggerated. But once she does complete, I imagine we'll see a Morellonomicon or a Luthens next. Once she does finally complete that Seraph's though, it's a huge power spike, and that's when we're going to see those dissonance and those shockwaves actually start to really, really hurt Flash Q.
Yeah, looks like both Slippy and Alpha Horizon picking up their blue buffs respectively. Monkey D Zoro going to take out the Spoopy. Actually, I wonder if they're Spoopies now. They're not Spooky Ghosts anymore, because we already have an item that gives us Spooky Ghosts, as we see now as I'm talking there. Makeout might be fancying his chances here as Alpha Horizon gets caught up again. Shockwave into Let's Bounce, and everything just going to go. Good scan of the week though. Suns Out Puns Out trying to just save him there. Good flash cocoon, might be able to save his mid laner. I feel like it should be. Slippy has got flash if he really wants to go for this. They don't really see Alpha Horizon, but he's getting collapsed upon right now. Makeout trying to get jumped on. Oh, the slingshot lands. Alpha Horizon didn't even try to do the fancy feat. That is going to be another kill going over in favor of the side of Legacy of the Kappa, and they're looking strong right now.
So Alpha Horizon actually didn't have flash there, so it was a good attempt by Suns Out Puns Out, but you can't help but feel when the first time Elise is using her flash is 9.5 minutes in, and it's only to try save his mid laner, it's not really an optimum use of that summoner spell. However, Alpha Horizon could have pathed towards the top lane tower. Fiora was pushed in by Mundo, and it would have been a much safer route to escape. So some poor pathing by Alpha Horizon actually leads an unnecessary death there. He opts to
rushing
Sorc
shoes.
Yeah,
well.
It even just after going to Chalice, it's great for the magic resist. But the Syndra, you really want to be bullying that Orianna. When you're opting the Sorc shoes, it is going to slightly increase your damage because you pick up that pen. The big problem being that you're going to it's gonna take so long for him to even pick up that Athene's. It's gonna take so long. This Syndra is not gonna be relevant for a very long time.
Yeah, we talked about scaling as well, and this is just something that's going to delay the power spike from Flash Q even further, because Syndra was kind of their pocket, kind of safety for the mid game, and not really going to have it pretty much until this Mundo and Vayne come online as well. So a lot of odd choices. Makeout finally misses the slingshot, takes a cleaver to the face.
We're all allowed one.
We're all allowed one, exactly. But more and more pressure. We're already seeing a 2,000 gold lead off those 2 kills, and that's just CS differentials in this bot lane and top lane.
Yeah, so that CS differential is extending even further in the bot lane. We talked about how hard that lane was going to be for that Vayne. It's such a difficult lane for the Vayne because she needs items to scale. She needs that Bork. She needs to hit level 6, and all these power spikes. Like, none of them are really important in this lane. And the Tahm Kench support, we talked about it. I don't actually personally like Tahm Kench support that much. But Legacy and the Kappa are playing in front of their minions and right up in the face of their bot lane, and they're not getting punished by the Elise, which means that Tahm Kench can land a lot of poke with his tongue lash, actually landing quite a bit of damage. I'd like to see his rune page actually. It wouldn't surprise me if he took a bit of magic pen, or maybe not just a straight tank page.
Yeah, and the thing is, Monkey D. Zoro is just so hindered by his lack of range on Vayne. He has to get up close to these minions if he wants to have any chance of last hitting them. And that's just going to cause trouble for him, as we see now the tongue lash is just coming out again and again. Really, really causing trouble right now. Let's see now what they want to do for this, because the game has kind of slowed down a little bit. We see Makeout trying to get a gank there in the mid lane. The Scatter the Weak does pick up a stun onto Makeout, and they might actually look for something here. Sun's out, Pun's out, not going to go for anything. Very, very strange. I feel like they could have at least popped his passive there. There was nobody else around.
Definitely. If you're able to cancel that Zac slingshot, it can go on cooldown. You can cancel it with the cocoon. I'm surprised they didn't even try to do it. Just shows how scared Alpha Horizon's playing. Then again, a 0 and 2 Syndra, if that Orianna did show up, they would lose the 2v2 every single time. So just surprising, but at the same time, as a jungler, you want to be ganking a winning lane or your closest to winning lane.
Oh, here we go now. Oh, it's actually going to be Ejam putting the spell shield on himself. He pops down the chains of corruption, but trying to get something there now. Not really anything else. Everyone trying to come in now. Actually, it's going to be an Abyssal Voyage off to the backside. Fate's Call, though, going to keep him pretty damn safe. And that is going to be another kill picked up. Scrappy, but they get the job done there for Legacy of the Kappa.
Yeah, I'm not sure the TP was completely necessary. However, since Mundo also TP'd late, it wasn't punished. But great job by Y'all Need Jesus to Fate's Call the Tahm Kench out. Tahm Kench is the wind up on his ult. It actually takes him quite a long time to teleport. So obviously the fight was over before he'd even got it off. But good use of Fate's Call to actually pull him out, and good awareness as well, because he could have actually died there.
Yeah, really, really could have. And they see now the Dragon first of the game at 13 minutes being taken there by Legacy of the Kappa. And they're going from strength to strength, and now 2,500 gold lead. They might try to look for a push in this mid lane. Alpha Horizon does not really want to stay around. It's going to be very difficult for him. There's no one really around to help him to try and sort this out. But Blue Bull Berry's going to get chunked out. The Ignite goes down as well. Doesn't quite get anything there. Makeout trying to jump in, but they will end up getting the tower. Burning an Ignite there onto the Tahm Kench, probably the most tanky member at the time in terms of health. They might say, ooh, Cocoon nearly hits, doesn't quite though, and Sun's Out, Pun's Out gets turned on again, has to repel away, jumping on those minions down to the backside. They still have got the Shockwave available to them. Slippy does keep that in his back pocket though. But I suppose all this time they are giving some precious, precious farm time to Monkey D. Zoro.
So on the bright side of for Flash Q anyway, we did see the Elise's damage there. It was quite high. The reason for that is the new Runic Echoes item. It applies a Luden's-like proc on your first spell. So when Elise uses that Neurotoxin, it procs on that. The reason this is such a big deal is that when she goes into her spider form, her Q is Execute. It does more damage based on the amount of HP that they've lost. So when you're doing more damage with your Neurotoxin, your Execute in spider form is even more potent. Yeah,
Blue Buff actually going to go out to Sun's Out, Pun's Out. Not really wanting to lose that if Alpha Horizon now does not have the mid lane tower. And this is something actually that is very curious to me. We're kind of used to at this stage seeing the outer towers nearly up to the inhibitor towers going before the mid lane tower goes down. And the first tower of the game that goes out is going to be the mid lane one, as we see now. Makeout might try go for a gank here. Kevin's trying to just juke it out. It is just about going to miss, and This is the problem when you miss that slingshot as Zac. You don't really have much else to go on.
While I will say that it's really good by Legacy of the Kappa to be putting down this much pressure on the map, specifically from makeout, and they're getting these CS differentials. The problem is with this strategy is that it's important to remember the Flash Q's team comp definitely outscales Legacy of the Kappas if they don't get a wombo combo off with the Orianna Zac. Orianna did pick up that Ludens. It's not as strong a late game as the Morellos because you don't have the CDR. And to be honest, if this Vayne gets a little bit of free farm time, and if Legacy of the Kappa fail to take any more towers, I mean, one tower with this type of lead at 15 minutes isn't by any means an over game. This is Flash Q's game to get back in. All this Vayne needs is a little bit of time to scale, and then they're going to start winning these team fights. So Legacy of the Kappa need to step up the pressure somewhere.
Yeah, CS leads though in every single lane. 20 CS, well, 15 CS in the top lane, 20 in the mid lane, and about 30 to 40 in the oh, we see now the Flash jumping in. Ejam trying to get in, but the Fate's call is going to keep him safe and sound. Blue Bullberry getting pulled out there, and that was a decent move, a decent initiative there from the side of Flash Q, but it doesn't unfortunately turn into anything good for them.
Yeah, I suppose that the great thing about the Kalista Tahm-Kench lane is the Tahm-Kench is loaded with damage. His ultimate gives us so much damage, his W is percentage. Oh, Zac charges the slingshot, looks like it's going to hit.
Wow, Ejam pops the ultimate or the spell shield on himself again. I don't know if that's intentional or not, because he's just being incredibly selfish to his own teammate, because it's just leaving Monkey D. Zoro on a plate for the side of Flash Q. As we've seen now, Kevins might be caught up a little bit here. There's no magic resistance on this Mundo. Is able to get away though pretty damn safely, and they're going to take another turret now, this time in the bot lane. And advantages all around now. This is going to be a 4,000 gold lead turn into a 5,000 gold lead at the 17-minute mark.
So the insane thing about that play is that typically when a play is made bot lane by a team, so in that instance they have 3 people bot, usually the mid laner will start to roam down and the top lane will get the TP ready. And then Flash Q will have the opportunity to react top lane and maybe take the top lane tower. What actually happened there was Legacy of the Kappa simultaneously made a play bot lane and top lane. That is like... That has to be punished, and what it means is that Legacy of the Kappa are really just setting the pace of this game, and Flash Q are playing reactively. Flash Q actually have to start making some important choices, maybe refine that shot calling a bit if they want to take any leads in this game. They need to capitalize on the lack of attention paid to top lane. The Zac, when he's ganking bot lane, if they commit 3 people top lane, Flash Q really need to dedicate like maybe 2-3 people top lane. They need to counter it somewhere else.
Yeah, they really do, and Kavenska's really someone who's doing relatively alright in this game. Only about 20 CS down, nothing really too bad happening there. Unfortunately, the Raptor does get taken away from the side of Flash Q. Stuns out, puns out, not going to get any more farm. He's just falling further and further behind. 100% kill participation there for Makeout. Shows exactly how important this Zac jungle has really been.
Even if you just look at the map, you see how important the Zac jungle has been. Look at Flash Q's jungle. The wards are in it, but more important than that, there is not one camp alive in Flash Q's jungle.
Ooh, nearly catching out Slippy there. Had to use the Devour to get him out of there. Good move there by Ejam, caught them off guard. There's actually no flank vision really on the side of it. Oh my god, Ejam gets blown to pieces, but so will Slippy. Nearly goes down to the end of it. No condemn there, the Cocoon misses. That was a great shockwave there on the Ejam, just completely bursts him out. No resistances at all, no armor, no magic resist. That's really going to start punishing there onto Flash Q. Nothing really they can do about that one.
So Ejam expecting that his black shield is going to keep him safe, and they just load on the AP damage. The Ludens helping to pop that black shield so they can actually get the CC down. Ejam not expecting the shockwave. When playing against Orianna, you really need to think about where the ball is positioned at all times to make sure not to walk on it. Looks like they're looking towards a gank at top lane though. Yeah,
might be another gank in the top lane, as we see now. Kavensk nearly getting caught out there by the riposte. Blue Bullberry and Makeout though going to make it a 3v1 at the moment, but it seems to be like a couple other people are joining this. Could be a top and jungle and support coming up for this party now, as everyone starts to try and pile into this. Do they have the kind of CC? Blue Bullberry gets caught out by one form of it. They are going to try and chunk him down. Pops his Grail, pops his Flash. I don't feel like that was necessary. He's going to be having to force away. They do keep the tower up and alive for now. a little bit antsy on that Flash, in my opinion.
So, when you're playing with the Callista, especially against the Vayne, there's a high chance right now that this Vayne could walk bot lane and actually just kill that Callista. When you play Callista, I like to see you with your support at all times so you can Fates call them out, especially in a situation like right now.
Oh, as you see now, we're going to see them going in. Repulsive drop, so is the Let's Bounce. Can't. It's a little bit harder. He does take a kill before he goes down. Ejam misses the Dark Binding though, and it's going to be Optic Blade just taking up another kill. It's actually going to be Makeout picking up that one. They do try and go into this. We talked about the 1v1, but it's actually a 1v2 in the bot lane. It will be Slippy picking that one up. They don't quite pick out Suns Out, Puns Out, but it's going to be Alpha Horizon trying to pick up a kill onto Optic Blade. He will go down with the Ignite. Mako tries to jump back in on top of this. Has got the Spectral Crow, so he's going to be able to regen a little bit as well as just sustain up. He will get Cocoon. Nicely done. And ooh, there it is. They get the auto attack, and that is going to be the kill going over to Suns Out, Puns Out. But while all this is happening, bot lane's been pushing so hard. That tower is not long for this world. They do get the spooky ghost though to try and get something. Slippy though, not really the one they're going to be able to get so much damage on. There's no one really to follow up on it, and at the end of the day, they lose an inhibitor turret for pretty much 2 kills. Not really worth.
That's a great read on the map by Slippy there. Exactly as we were talking about, that Vayne has probably got an opportunity to 1v1 that Callista, especially with her ult in the pork finished. Vayne's exceptionally good at dueling, even when you're behind the silver bolts damage and the option to go invisible, plus the tumble damage, plus the extra AD you get from your ult, all make for a great 1v1 champion.
Oh no, Monkey D Zoro, you need to be so careful. Get Shockwave, doesn't actually get any dissonance though, but it doesn't matter as the only Jesus picks up that kill as he tries to push some more damage there onto Mundo. Kevenskin's trying to just get out there as quick as he can, and that was just the Fnatic Death Bush strikes again here. And that's going to be a possible dragon, most likely a dragon going over the side of Legacy of the Kappa as they just keep going from strength to strength.
So this is what I was talking about. Legacy of the Kappa are really turning up the pressure now, waiting in bushes, really crushing this bot lane who are so desperate for farm, desperate for any way to get back into the game, and they're punishing their desperation. Vayne's not thinking about where they are, she's thinking, I desperately need farm if I want to get back in this game. And Slippy again roaming down bot lane, really just punishing that.
Yeah, see now, ooh, Mundo taking solo, one more auto attack will do it. Optic Blade picks up that one. And that is another kill, 10-3. Cocoon's landing there for Suns Out, Puns Out, but you can see how little damage he does to the tanky Blue Bull Berry. That's going to be another tower possibly going down. Spooky Ghost, not really enough to really do much there. And oh my god, the command attack into Dissonance does so much damage onto this super squishy Elite. Actually went with the Sork shoes, which I really don't agree with. And while all that's happening, they're still pushing down the top lane. Legacy of the Kappa are in complete control.
Even strange itemization that I hadn't picked up on yet on the Fiora. Typically she goes for the Titanic Hydra first, but in this instance she built the Black Cleaver and then now she's going for the Ravenous Hydra. It's less good when you're split pushing, but better in extended trades, so I suppose it's really, really good when you're taking long extended trades against the Mundo. And credit to Optic Blade there, he knew exactly how much damage he was able to put out on that Mundo, and ulted straight away, so really, really good credit to him, actually bringing out a great performance on this Fiora. Yeah,
really, really doing well. Just see now a little bit of disengage from the side of Legacy of the Kappa. They don't want to overstay, but they have got full wards at the moment. There isn't a single ward on the side of Flash Q on the map. Now there's one just put down there by Kevensk. That's going to be more and more pressure. 50 CS lead in the top lane as well as the 2-1 kill score. Just so difficult right now as well. The jungle has been huge right now. Makeout's definitely been dictating the pace of this game. He's forcing Suns Out, Puns Out into awkward situations and just really punishing him for mispositionings. Let's see exactly what the new Slippy though working towards. Has got the Archangel staff, hopefully going to be working that into a Seraph's Embrace relatively soon enough. And looks like he's going for possibly a Rabadon's Death Cap as well. So he is just going from strength to strength, and we don't really see a core big item or second core items really being made at the moment. Only core items at the moment. The first core items being finished off for the side of Flash Q. It's not looking strong at all.
So looking at Suns Out, Puns Out, his Elise mechanics have been fine. He landed that nice cocoon on the Zac top lane. His skill shots have generally been okay, and it's easy to see he is proficient with his champion. But Makeout's just been absolutely phenomenal. He's managed to get all 3 of his lanes ahead, counter jungle the Elise to the point that he has a 15 CS lead in the jungle, which is quite a bit. even the level difference, he's got the one level up on the Elise, and he's been ganking more. It's just a really, really phenomenal performance. Makeout has to be the MVP this game.
Oh, here we go. Shockwave, let's bounce, and everything goes down. Monkey D. Zoro gets exhausted and killed in the end. They were tanking a little bit of turret, only one kill at the moment, so a lot breaking down, but that's all they needed. They're going to use the Fate's Call now. Sun's out, Pun's out, nearly goes down, he repels up into the air. They actually get a shutdown there onto Yanni Jesus. That's going to be a 2-for-1, 3-for-1 trade. That's Blue Bullberry still going on top of this. They tried to get the scan of the week. It ends up being a 4-for-1 trade. They still have Fiora and Oriana to take down this turret. Optic Blade, ooh, nearly going down. They actually might take a little bit more harass for this than they really want to. Slippy forced to use that now upgraded Seraph's Embrace, but they do get the inhibitor turret down, which is what they wanted. They're going to take the inhibitor now as well, force that bot lane in, and this is just, it's so hard to see where Flash Q can really come back in this game. So not a single turret has gone down on the side of Legacy of the Kappa.
So 5 minutes ago I was talking about this Vayne opportunity to actually kill someone with the Bork she just finished. We look at her items now 5 minutes later, and all she has is that Bork with the critical. There's literally no gold going into Legacy of the Kappa at all. The plus side of taking those 2 inhibitors is that now they'll actually have some gold funnel into the base somewhat. The great thing about the inhibitor they took, though, the mid lane one and the bot lane being so low, is that they can walk in whenever they want and take that bot lane inhibitor. And when that bot lane inhibitor is down, they're going to be so preoccupied with guarding their base that Baron is going to be free whenever they want. Bot lane inhibitor being taken essentially means you have a free Baron. All you need to do is wait for those minions to push in. Especially with the minion changes in this season, we're seeing them as well. With that inhibitor taken, plus the gold differential there is that those minions from Legacy of the Kappa are going to be flooding into Flash Q's base. It's going to be a 5-man job keeping them off.
Yeah, really, really is. The only Jesus finishing off the Runan's Hurricane as well, looking towards that Bloodthirster now. It's just not looking good. Zeal, the second item there for the 0-5. Monkey D. Zoro not been having a good game. And I don't want to put a lot of blame on the support, because I'm a support main, so it's a lot of, whoa, forcing the sadism there out of the Mundo from the top lane, and that's going to be a big summoner down for the side of Flash Q if they even want to try and defend, let alone fight.
So it's hard to blame anyone, because it's obviously never like that, but the Bane spell shields, about that one, or the Morganas, haven't been on point.
Yeah, here they go. Makeout might have got a little bit too far. He's taking very low, has got his passive up, and that bot lane inhibitor might not actually be as secure in the eyes of Legacy of the Kappa. I lie, there's Yanni Jesus on the Kalista. Actually, Makeout goes back in, trying to get something there. Oh, just about stays alive there. They do take out Mundo, and the super minions are in the base. They're going to keep going. This Yanni Jesus on Kalista just hopping from left to right. Oh my god, the crit. Or not the crit, the rend, I should say. Just doing so much damage there. They do end up taking one Nexus turret. There's not a huge amount that the side of Flash Q can really do in this game. One turret goes down, the second sure to follow very, very soon. As it does go down, it will be the Fate's Call coming out. Not really going to hit anybody though. And that's going to be Makeout jumping in for the last one. But the Nexus is falling. And that is going to be the round 2 game going over to Legacy of the Kappa as they take a 2-0 lead into Division 2. And our commiserations there to Flash Q as they go 0-2. They really need to pick up a win next time. But that is going to be a huge win there and a really, really good push from Legacy of the Kappa as they look to continue to go strong in this tournament.
Yeah, spectacular play from Makeout there. Yolni Jesus performing really, really well in the Kalista, and that duo just playing really well. Same with Slippy, his build path led up to this really big power spike. We saw the command dissonance damage. It was just insane in the late game. And a really, really one-sided game from between the two of them anyway. Legacy of the Kappa looking really dominant, and that makes them 2-0, I believe.
Yes, 2-0 going into the nearly first half of the season, ending 2-0 is pretty damn good. Even if they go 2-1 into the second half, they're still in a very, very strong position. And that is going to be it from us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll hopefully have some more games coming up. The deadline is, of course, going to still be Sunday for Division 2 and Monday for Division 1, just because of the servers and the way everything went. But we'll see you guys next time. I've been Ushin Blood Penguin Malloy, and joining me on this cast has been Connor, Wolfie Nolan. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for joining us.